Okay, good morning, and this is lesson 10.3. This is called measures of spread. So we're going to give you a lot of definitions. We're going to discuss a lot of terminology today. This is most likely a two-part lesson. So we are starting it today, 10.3. We're going to get through a lot of the groundwork. Everything is in your notes. It's going to probably be necessary for you to write some of these things down again, and I would strongly suggest so that you find how to find the quartiles, the upper quartile, the lower quartile, the interquartile range. When we get into all of this, that you guys maybe make flashcards with problems on them, because that's going to be extremely helpful. So I'm going to try to go nice and slow, but we're going to lay a foundation like I said. Measures of variation show the spread of data. We already talked about the range. The range is the difference between the highest number in a set of data and the lowest number in the set of data. Quartiles and interquartile range describe the spread in the middle half of the data. And then we have something which is called an outlier. An outlier is either an extremely high or an extremely low when compared with other data in a set. So let me give you an example. There was one test where I had people make 100, and I had lots of A's, B's, and C's, and then I had somebody make like a 36. So that would be an outlier. That is an extremely, extremely low value. And if you think about it, that's going to really throw off my average, because that 36 is going to pull it down. So let me give you an example that you can connect to. If you had like almost like all 4.5s and 5s on your homework, and then you got 1 or 2 zeros, that is drastically going to pull your homework or your daily average down. Okay, so I'm sure some of you have seen that happen to you, and you realize that what I'm telling you is the truth. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. A fundraising event is held at a school cafeteria each year. The yearly fundraising event had the following attendance in the last 9 years: 42, 38, 50, 48, 62, da-da-da-da-da. We want to find the minimum, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the maximum values for the data set. So the first thing we need to do, and this is important, whenever they're asking you to find all of this, you need to put the data in order from least to greatest. Okay? And now we need to find all kinds of things here. So we're putting the data in order from least to greatest. And everybody sees. So we've taken the set 42, 38, 50, and we've reordered it from least to greatest as 38, 42, 45, 46, 48, and so on. The minimum value, which would be the lowest value, is 38. I think everyone could get that right, correct? And the maximum value is 96. We got that right too. Yes, those are the two easiest ones, and those would be the two that I would recommend you do first, correct? All right, next, the lower quartile. The lower quartile is the median, or it's the middle number of the first half of the data set. So let's go ahead and take a look. So let me just go ahead and erase these two values right here for you. Okay, and let's scoot over here. Okay, so we've ordered them from least to greatest. Okay? Is everybody with me? Yes? All right, so here they are. We found the minimum value, which we said was what, guys? 38. So let's write that in. The minimum value was 38, and the maximum value was 96. Now, the lower quartile. To find the lower quartile, you find the median of the first half of the data. So the first thing I would do is let's count up how many pieces are in our data set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which means there's going to be a middle number, correct? What's the middle number, guys? Okay, so 48 is my middle number. So the lower quartile is the median, or it's going to be the middle number of the lower half. So the lower half of my data set would be these numbers right here. Let's see if you all understand why. It's 38, 42, 45, and 46. Does everyone understand how I got that? Do you understand that I counted up the number of values in my data set? The lower quartile would be the 4 to the left of the median in this case. The upper quartile will be the 4 to the right of the median, which is 48. Now, we need to find the median of the lower quartile. There are two middle numbers. So the median of the lower quartile is going to be, the lower quartile is the median of the first half of the data, would be 42 plus 45 divided by 2, which would be what? Who's got a calculator and did it? I can't hear you. 43.5. Now we want to find the upper quartile. Are you with me? Yes? How do you think we're going to find the upper quartile? It's going to be the median of the upper half of the data. So it's going to be the median of what? 55 plus 62 divided by 2, which gives you what? 58.5? All right, so let's swing back over here and go over it one more time. Before we do anything, once they give us a set of data and they're asking us to find the minimum, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the maximum values for a set of data, the first thing you must do is list the data in order from what, guys? Good. The minimum value is usually the number one number. He's the smallest. Everyone, the minimum value here is what? Good. What's the maximum value, Matt?
96.
Good. I just need you to pay attention. Good job. Okay. The minimum value is 38. The maximum value is 96. What's the median, or what's the middle number? Once you put it in order from least to greatest, what's your middle number? 48. Okay. To find the lower quartile is the median of the first half of the data set. So if this is the middle number, I'm going to look, this is the lower, these numbers right here are the lower numbers in the data set. I'm going to find the median of those two, and that's going to be the lower quartile. The median of the upper data set is going to be the upper quartile. Is everyone with me? That sounds pretty straightforward, yes? Okay, it takes time. I didn't want to just go ahead and rush through it. Okay. To find an outlier, first determine the, okay, I don't think we're going to find outliers. I don't ask any of that on the test, but you should be able to find the minimum, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, and maximum for each data set. Yes? Oh, sweet Jesus. He's in Mrs. Richardson's room. Joseph. When did we just notice that? Yeah, well, we just interrupted our tape. Excuse us, people. We're fine. We sent a student out while we took a quiz, and we just left him there. Okay, so let me just go ahead and just say that we should be able to find the range of a set of data, whether I give it to you in a table, a chart, a line plot, a stem and leaf plot. So let me talk about a stem and leaf plot for a minute. A stem and leaf plot. And I know we're kind of bouncing back and forth, but unfortunately it's necessary to do so because we need to make sure that we are giving you everything that you need. Welcome back. We forgot you. Surprise. Okay, and here are your definitions, and I will allow you time to copy these at the end one more time. The lower quartile is the median of the first half of the data set. The maximum value is your greatest value. Your minimum value is your smallest value when putting them in order from least to greatest. An outlier is either an extremely high or extremely low value when compared with others' data set. The upper quartile is the median of the second half of the data set. And variation just shows the spread of the data. I don't expect you to write them now. I'm going to come back to it. Again, there's no homework this evening. This is a two-part lesson, so just try and stay with me. I do want to take a minute here and just make sure that you understand what a stem and leaf plot is. So let's take a minute. Stem and leaf. How many people have ever seen a stem and leaf plot before? Good job. Pardon? Yeah, I know. I couldn't get to it fast enough. I'm so sorry. There was just one or two questions on it? Yeah. Stem and leaf. So if I had these grades, okay, so let's just go ahead and say algebra test grades. Okay, so we had a 74. I'm going to put them in order because it's just going to be easier for me. 75, 77, 80, 86, 86, 86, 89, 92, 93, 94, 97, 100, 100, 100, 100. Okay. The stem is the larger part of the number. So in this particular case, my stem is going to be the number that's in the tens place. It's going to be the 7, which represents the 70s family. It's going to be the 8, which represents the 80s family. It's going to be the 9, which represents the 90s family. And then, of course, it's going to be a 10 when it's going to represent 100. The thing about a stem and leaf plot, which is similar to a dot plot, is if something appears more than once, you're going to write it. So let's show you how to construct a stem and leaf plot. To construct a stem and leaf plot, my stems are going to be 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to list the leaves, which are the ones numbered, the numbers in the ones place, which in this case somebody made a 74, somebody made a 75, and somebody made a 77. So when you read this is how you would interpret it. 74, 75, 77. Are you with me? Now I had an 80, 3 86s, and an 89. Then I had a 92, a 93, a 94, a 97, and I had 4 100s. Okay. Pretty easy, yes? However, the most important part of a stem and leaf plot would be the key. And the key usually goes down on the right side. Now, the key is important because it's telling you, who is interpreting the graph, how to read it. It's telling you one of two things. It's telling you, is that 74, 75, 77? Is it 7.4, 7.5, 7.7? Maybe it was a quiz. Maybe she's counting decimals. Is it 0.74? So this is what you would do. You could take any number. I'm going to just tell you a hint. It makes most sense to take the first number. So what you're going to do is you're going to write 7/4 equals, and then you're going to tell me, the reader, how to read the stem and leaf plot. Does that make sense? So what's the most important part of your stem and leaf plot? If there's no key, there's no credit. Did you hear me? No key, you can't unlock the door. No key, the problem's wrong. The other important part is you're going to label it. Mrs. Urso's algebra test grades. Are you all with me? Yes? Okay, what I think I'm going to do, just for time's sake, and I think it's because continuity of flow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here. I know you only have 10 minutes, but I'd like for you to at least do one problem from what I taught earlier. Find the minimum, the median, the maximum value, lower quartile. I'm still talking upper quartile. And then to look at and find some ranges on some of the stem and leaf plots. So this concludes our lesson today. We'll be back tomorrow with lots more fun, guys. Stay tuned. Part 2 coming tomorrow.